Guten Tag, and welcome back to Travel Destinations Cinematic, the channel where we count down the world's most beautiful destinations in stunning cinematic style. Today we have another top 10 for you, and today we are heading to a country of fairy tale castles, ancient forests, vibrant cities, and some of the finest Christmas markets on Earth. Let's go! Welcome back. Germany, a country that surprises almost everyone who visits it for the first time. Not because its reputation is bad, but because its reality is so much richer and more varied than most people expect. This is a country of extraordinary landscapes, of dense, dark forests, of river valleys lined with medieval towns, of alpine peaks and misty moorlands. It is also a country of remarkable cities, each one distinct in character, each one shaped by a different chapter of a long and complicated history. This is our top 10 of the most beautiful destinations in Germany. We would love to hear your favorite destinations in the comments. Sit back and enjoy the show. Starting our journey at number 10, Bremen and its legendary Christmas market. Bremen is one of Germany's oldest and most charming cities. A place of medieval merchant houses, Gothic churches, and a relaxed civic pride that is very different from the energy of Germany's larger cities. But it is in December that Bremen truly comes into its own. The Christmas market on the Marktplatz is one of the most atmospheric in Germany. The smell of Glühwein, the glow of lights reflecting on the cobblestones, the wooden stalls selling handmade gifts and seasonal food. Bremen at Christmas is a genuinely warm and festive experience that stays with you long after the lights have come down. Arriving on the Rhine at number 9, Cologne. Cologne is one of Germany's most vibrant and likable cities, and home to one of the most remarkable Gothic buildings in Europe. The Cologne Cathedral, begun in 1248 and not completed until 1880, a gap of over 600 years, rises above the Rhine in a forest of flying buttresses and pointed spires that took the breath away from medieval pilgrims and continues to do so today. The old town along the Rhine, the chocolate museum on the riverbank, and the famous Kolschbier served in the traditional small straight glasses in the brewpubs of the Old Quarter. Cologne is a city that rewards a few days of unhurried exploration. Into the ancient forest at number 8, the Harz National Park. The Harz Mountains in central Germany are one of the most atmospheric and storied landscapes in the country. A compact range of forested hills and rocky peaks that has been inspiring German folklore, legend, and literature for centuries. The Brocken, the highest peak at 1,141 meters, is shrouded in mist for much of the year and has long been associated with witchcraft and the supernatural. Walpurgis Night, when witches were said to gather on its summit, is still celebrated here every April. The narrow-gauge steam railway that winds through the forest to the Brocken summit is one of the most charming ways to experience the landscape. Sailing into number 7, the Rhine Valley. The Middle Rhine Valley between Koblenz and Bingen is one of the most beautiful river landscapes in Europe. The river here runs between steep slopes of vineyard terraces and forested hills, with medieval castles appearing around almost every bend. The Loreley Rock, a great slate cliff from which, according to legend, a beautiful siren lured sailors to their deaths, rises dramatically from the river at its narrowest point. Taking a boat or a train along this stretch of the Rhine, with the castle-topped hills passing on both sides and the vineyards catching the afternoon light, is one of the finest travel experiences Germany has to offer. Discovering a genuine alpine gem at number 6, Mittenwald. Mittenwald is the kind of German town that visitors suspect has been arranged for their benefit. This small alpine town near the Austrian border is famous for two things: its painted facades and its tradition of violin making, which has been practiced here since the 17th century. The Karwendel Mountains rise directly behind the town in a wall of pale limestone, and the views from the surrounding meadows, with the painted town in the foreground and the mountains behind, are among the most classically beautiful in the German Alps. Mittenwald is small, quiet, and genuinely lovely. Into the darkness at number 5, the Black Forest. The Black Forest, Schwarzwald, in the southwestern corner of Germany. This dense forest of fir and pine trees, where the canopy is thick enough to block out most of the light even on a bright day, has an atmosphere that is genuinely fairy tale, dark, quiet, and full of a sense of things half glimpsed between the trees. But the Black Forest is also a landscape of remarkable variety, of open meadows, traditional farmhouses with their enormous curved roofs almost touching the ground, spa towns like Baden-Baden, and the spectacular Triberg waterfalls. It is a place that rewards slow travel and unhurried exploration. Stepping into a medieval fairy tale at number 4, Rothenburg ob der Tauber. Rothenburg ob der Tauber is the most completely preserved medieval town in Germany. The entire old town is enclosed within its original medieval walls, and within those walls, almost nothing has changed since the 17th century. The half-timbered houses, the cobblestone streets, the market square with its Gothic town hall, the most photographed corner in Germany, where two towers frame a narrow street in perfect composition. All of it is intact and authentic. Rothenburg is almost impossibly beautiful. It is the kind of place that makes you feel the weight of all those centuries very directly. Arriving at the world's greatest celebration at number 3, Munich and Oktoberfest. Munich is the capital of Bavaria and one of the most livable and enjoyable cities in Germany. A place of wide boulevards, magnificent museums, outstanding food markets, and an easygoing cafe culture that sits comfortably alongside its reputation for efficiency and order. The Marienplatz, with its elaborate Neues Rathaus, the Englischer Garten, one of the largest urban parks in the world, and the extraordinary Deutsches Museum are all worth days of your time. But Munich's most famous export to the world is Oktoberfest, the annual beer festival that began in 1810 as a royal wedding celebration and has grown into the largest folk festival on Earth. Arriving at the world's most famous fairy tale castle at number 2, Neuschwanstein. This extraordinary castle, built by the eccentric King Ludwig II of Bavaria between 1869 and 1886 as a personal retreat and tribute to the operas of Richard Wagner, rises from a forested alpine crag above the village of Hohenschwangau in a composition of towers, turrets, and pale limestone that is almost impossibly romantic. Today, Neuschwanstein receives over 1.5 million visitors a year, and from the Marienbrück Bridge that spans the gorge above the castle, looking down at those white towers rising from the forest with the alpine peaks behind them, it is not difficult to understand why. And our number 1 destination in Germany, Berlin. Berlin is one of the most compelling cities in Europe. The Brandenburg Gate, through which Napoleon marched in triumph and through which reunited Germans poured in joy in 1989. The Holocaust Memorial, 2,711 concrete slabs of varying height arranged in a grid that you can walk through and feel the disorientation of. The East Side Gallery, the longest remaining section of the Berlin Wall, now covered in murals. The extraordinary museum island in the Spree, with 5 world-class museums on one small island. And alongside all of this history, one of the most creative, energetic, and internationally diverse cities in Europe, with a music scene, an art scene, and a restaurant scene that are all genuinely world-class. Berlin does not try to be beautiful in the conventional sense. It tries to be true. And that, in the end, is more interesting. Our number 1. And that is our personal top 10 of the most beautiful and fascinating destinations in Germany. A country that has more to offer than most visitors ever discover, and one that rewards those who go beyond the obvious with experiences that are genuinely memorable. Have you been to Germany? Was there a destination we missed that deserves a place on this list? We would love to hear from you in the comments. A thumbs up really helps the channel grow. and subscribe so you never miss a new video from Travel Destinations Cinematic. Until next time, Auf Wiedersehen. Safe travels, everyone.